didn't I always tell you that the royal move would not be easy for Meghan? I didn't expect it, though, to get quite so tough quite so quickly. And to be honest, I think what we're seeing is something of an unfair pile-on. One story that claimed that Meghan made Kate cry had to be dismissed by a palace official who said simply, that didn't happen. A glimpse of the Duchess of Sussex growing baby bump last night. At the same time, Prince Harry's wife facing a growing barrage of criticism. British newspaper headlines claiming Meghan is feuding with Kate, rude to staff and demanding. On morning television, Piers Morgan turning on her after they met once.
My experience wasn't great, I've got to be honest with you. And everything I've seen since does, I'm afraid it slightly does smack of an actress, a Hollywood actress, seizing her chance and acting her way to the top.
Her fairy tale wedding just 6 months ago. Now one disapproving story claiming Meghan wanted air fresheners in the historic St George's Chapel.
The British press are notorious for turning against people and also for building people up and then tearing them down.
The criticism exploding after news Harry and Meghan were moving out of Kensington Palace, away from William and Kate. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge pictured at an event with the Queen last night, Kate wearing a tiara from Princess Diana. Reports say Kate and Meghan are less than close.
Meghan and Kate are two very different people, very different backgrounds, and they both come into the royal family, which is quite a difficult situation to go into.
This week, former First Lady Michelle Obama in London. Unconfirmed reports saying she met up with Meghan. The First Lady asked what advice she'd give. Like me, Meghan probably never dreamt that she'd have a life like this. The pressure you feel from yourself and others can sometimes feel like a lot, Michelle Obama told a magazine. So my biggest piece of advice would be to take some time and don't be in a hurry to do anything. There's so much opportunity to do good with a platform like that, and I think Meghan can maximise her impact if she's doing something that resonates with her personally. And surely things are getting a little out of control when Piers Morgan is attacking Meghan when he met her only one time and she cut off contact after she met Prince Harry. Piers Morgan, Prince Harry, I think most people would choose Prince Harry. Sorry, Piers. Meanwhile, that bump is growing. As a father of twins, I'm going to go out on a limb here, guys. I'm saying it's twins.
Oh!
Whoa! Keir!
Wow!
Wait, boy or girl twins?
Would those be the first royal twins?
No, I don't know. I can't.
He's just guessing.
I can't give you that.
Thank you,
All right, Keir. Thank you. Well, Meghan Markle was around here at the Today Show. We found her perfectly lovely.
Oh, yeah.
So.
We like her.
Oh, we're Team Meghan.
Yes.